Welcome back to Greatest Media Team's coverage. Welcome to the Jungle version 9, live from Meadowbrook Orchards. We are here for round 2 of competition. Shout out to our gold level sponsors showing up now: East Coast Metal Roofing, Discmania, Disc Golf 978. Some of our silver sponsors popping up now as well, as we are here for the back 9 lead card. I'm joined by Dan Brook-Wells. How's it going, Dan?
Going great. Excited to be here once again. Welcome back to the back 9. You're going to see some awesome holes, some open holes, and excited to see how these guys attack it.
After front 9, Shane Wyatt leading the pace at 6 under par. Still got Andres Ripley holding on to the lead, shooting a very solid 5 under. Justin and Nick just trailing behind, but this course kind of changes after these next few holes, as we'll see. We'll be back in the open, a lot more OB, a lot of wind to deal with as we start with hole 10.
Yeah, and what a hole 10. This is a par 3, 273 feet, tight gap down the center. This is way downhill, more than what you are thinking it is. And it is OB behind the basket. You can see that rock wall right there. So I saw some thumbers, some tomahawks. Most people are taking a putter and kind of trying to float it down and land it early. How far do you think this actually plays? Like 200 maybe?
I would say 200. When I step up to this hole, I think of Maple Hill hole 4 in my head. And the downhill grade of this hole is even greater. So anything that's pin high off your hand is going OB. So I'm trying to throw it into the ground.
I'm going a little low. We get a little replay of this skip.
It's okay. Definitely a decision putt from there.
Yeah, that's a tough one to
does
run.
Not stop.
But these guys are definitely looking to score. I would think the back 9 plays a little bit easier than the front 9. Justin just early off to the right, gets a rough kick. That's going to be a tough approach. Nick trying to flip something up is a little early as well. He's going to be over there with Justin. Harry, is this a new tee pad for this event? Seems like there's a shorter one.
Well, that shorter one is just for the red layout, which has been in for a while. That long pad up top has been in for a few years now.
Okay, cool. Sit down. Did that go OB?
We'll have to see on his putt, but that log for being there does not stop a lot of discs. Certainly stops probably the roll away from the putt, but any shot coming down, you're going to have to rely on your touch other than that log.
Good pole hit. Anything that skips at the pole might end up 20 feet plus. Yeah. 2 for 2.
Yeah, good layup from Andres. I mean, like you said about the pole, I mean, so many times you'll see a disc that looks perfect skipping at the pole and then still ends up OB. So whether this is for par or bogey, tough putt for Shane. And he sinks it. Looks like a par. Great save.
Yeah, I guess it stayed in. Here's Nick for his par. Oh, no. Just leaks it right.
Tough bogey for him to take there. And, yeah, those are the moments that you look back and really wish you had back.
And this hole did play over par, so taking a par is no big deal. But we are moving on to hole 11. We are going back up this hill. This is a par 4, 410 feet. You got to look at the famous tree there. You're trying to throw under that right side branch and up to this gap. And once you reach that, it's kind of an open shot into this field. The green does play kind of uphill as well at a steep angle.
It's been an ongoing debate here. This is the signature tree of Massachusetts disc golf. And whether it is or isn't, it certainly plays a factor on this hole.
Absolutely. Seems like it to me. Now, I do know that this hole is also eagleable. I know we've watched people in the past get a putt at it. Is this something that you're going for the 2?
Yeah, I go for the 2 here. It doesn't really change up my play too much. I'm just hitting it a little bit harder, but, you know, I'm still trying to make sure I hit this gap at all costs. But there is a rock wall up where it turns kind of from the woods to the grass that stops a lot of my drives. And you really need that extra level of power to air it up past that, which is why we don't see many 2s on this hole.
See. This is the ideal play for someone who doesn't, you know, like myself, who doesn't throw 600, going for the 2, just putting it in the middle up there, and he should be able to see the basket and have a look.
And Nick powering up on the destroyer, and it's that tree. That's kind of the big mistake to make if people are playing for 2. And from here, it's very tricky. May only be 250 feet, but uphill. Most players are going standstill. This is a great shot. Still short.
Very nice. That'll work well.
This is more what you're looking for from Shane. Can see the basket and skipping right by it.
That almost went in.
Definitely using that mulch to slow it down a little bit. A 25-foot putt for the bird.
This looks a little high left. It's a little too strong. He'll have looks like a circle's edge back downhill. What a drive from Justin. Just a little pitch up. Nick will have to settle for his par. Oh, and Andres decides to lay it up. It is pretty downhill. It is pretty much a death putt. He's been putting pretty good.
Yeah, I did not expect that at all. But whenever you're feeling like you should lay up, you probably should. Shane misses his birdie putt. I mean, something of note, it is the first exposed basket, really, since hole 7, and before that, hole 2. We've all been in the woods since then, and this basket can get breezy. So maybe Andres had a straight head win and just decided to take his par. Never a bad move.
Yeah, and in hindsight, it didn't really cost him. You know, Shane unable to card the bird. So Andres will keep his stroke lead. And this was the easiest hole on the course, playing .63 under par. But forget about that. We're moving on to hole 12. This is a par 3, 333 feet. OB on the right side. Green slopes left to right. Kind of a raised basket as well.
And one more thing about hole 11. Did see that average was helped by Elijah Garrison. Starting the 2 must have been a throw-in, which is interesting because he was the one that aced hole 9 in round 1.
Oh, very nice.
So, a couple highlights for Elijah early on.
Yeah. Have a weekend. Shane going right at the basket. Gets a deep skip and a roll. Oh, man. He's probably going to get up there and go, I've never thrown this one this far on this hole. So this seems to be, from what I've seen, the kind of the shot just leaking it a little left and letting the hill kind of stick it so you can give yourself a putt.
That was well controlled on the lefty forehand there. Nick able to just go to a putter on this one.
Must be
Slides it up.
nice.
Yeah.
Shane seeing like he's going to give this one a bid. Oh, man. Oh, that was looking so good.
Oh, Justin
Wow.
drops a bomb from circle 2.
That was awesome.
What a putt. It almost looked like he was laying it up at first, the way he just slowly brought down his hand, but
Yeah.
just spun it home.
A little too close to lay up, you know, and too far to be super confident, but well done. Looks like Nick has a similar range, maybe just inside the circle. He drops it down as well.
That's a great momentum birdie for Nick. And he's got the power to safely attack all the remaining holes. So dropping a good putt there. See how if he can get any more, get on a heater, get back in this thing.
Well, good hole for you guys.
And Andres takes a stroke on Shane and has a 2-stroke lead currently on our card. What an awesome tee pad on hole 13. This is a par 3, 273 feet. Orchard on the right side is staked OB. And we are getting to the hanging basket. Really cool designed green here. And there's definitely some wind out there. Do you remember what the wind was doing?
Yeah, the wind here was pushing right to left off the OB. So this forehand will be fighting against the wind. Should be a good play.
It just leaks a little right. And that OB comes up quick. It's really not that far from the basket. Andres has done a great job staying out of the OB. And he is dialed on this one.
Nice little form check of Andres. Clean swing. Likes to smooth down on these holes. Throwing something pretty fast and executes it perfect.
We got the opposite from Nick. Looks like he's throwing a putter there. Well done from Shane.
That's the neat card.
Par save from Justin. Just a bit low. Kind of a tough bogey to take, but I saw a lot of people go OB here.
And once you do, you're in a kind of a tricky range, especially with the swirling winds. Elevated basket as well as Nick starting a second straight birdie. And these guys just have tap-ins here.
This hole did play under par. 0.12 under par to be exact. Andres keeps it rolling. Here's a feature hole, hole 14, par 3, 500 feet. Definitely a reachable basket due to the slope of the hill. There's OB on the rock wall to the right and OB in the surrounding orchard that is staked off. So this is definitely a risk-reward type of shot. People with the arm. There's a lot of people who have the arm to get there. It's just a matter of if you want to risk it in this wind.
Yeah, you nailed it with risk reward. I know for a fact this hole will play over par. And getting a 3 is not too tricky if you play for it. We're seeing the 3 play from Andres. And I think with a lead, that was a fantastic play. We do get to see Nick try to get aggressive here, pushing the hyzer out. And not going to quite have the distance. Who knows? Maybe that was maybe it was a little bit more of a conservative play. There was a tricky win for a righty hyzer on this hole. Yeah, this OB, although it does look wide, can come up very quick with the downhill grade. Anything that kind of gets on too much hyzer can go.
And Shane looks like he was going with a mid play to make sure he parked the short basket. And then he's going to try and park the long basket. As you can see, so this course also has a feature that I thought was really cool. I haven't seen before. You see the boulders in the center. And Harry, correct me if I'm wrong, but the first one is 300 and then 400 and then 500 feet. Is that right?
They're definitely spaced out in a exact way. I'm not sure about the distances, but we'll see them again on hole 17 as well. But yeah, they definitely do feature kind of a driving range type distance marker.
Yeah, and maybe I'm wrong. Since the hole's 500 feet, maybe it starts at 2, 3, 4. Andres was rewarded with a little jump putt into the basket. Well done. Nice to have a tap in on this one.
That's a really good pro move there from Andres. You can see he threw a very conservative shot, still close enough to be able to go to the jump putt. This shows you don't really need much off the tee to secure yourself an easy 3, which I'm excited to see this average because it will certainly be strokes on the field.
You can kind of hear the wind here. So even, 20, 25 footers are, if you've played in the wind, you know how tricky they are. Very nice to knock that down. No. Oh, he's going to want that one back. You're looking at the whole stats there. There were 5 birdies, and this did average a half a stroke over par. And we are walking back up to this tee pad, hole 15. This is a par 4, 541 feet. Here are the very nice boulders once again. OB on the left, OB on the right. Once you reach a certain point, the OB on the left kind of opens up, and you go back kind of downhill grade to the pin.
Yeah, there's some added OB on this hole on the left side that makes this more of a tricky shot where you have to watch the accuracy. And once again, Andres playing the smooth play, not going for much distance, and kind of playing the hole in reverse in a way, chopping it up, 2 shots.
Looks like Nick is going for a birdie putt or an eagle putt, and kind of gives himself, looks like maybe 100 feet.
A good rip there from Nick. Definitely a little conservative from him. You can tell. I've seen him flex them a lot higher and with a bit more gusto, but from there he'll have a jump putt, and that works for his game.
Oh, there we go.
I don't think the catch cam was accounting for Justin's sneaky distance right there. Put a good move on that one, and Shane even going pretty big.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll work. Anything out in the open. I mean, it's only 541 feet. Anything out in the open here, and you got to look to chip it up and in for your birdie. I think the tricky part comes in because this is downgrade or this is like kind of a downhill shot into the green. And I think the mistake people do is kind of leak it past it. Kind of just like this. Still putting.
I feel like that's pretty damn wide and deep. You got a circle putt.
Everything they said was true. Are you going for a 2-look for this one?
It kind of depends on the wind and oh my!
Whoa!
Did not see that coming. He was close enough for an actual bid and just off the cage, but yeah, back to your question, it kind of goes based off wind and general overall feeling for the round. You know, if I'm putting together something really special and there's a tough wind, I'm much more content to play for an easy 3. But during this round specifically, I was kind of on the struggle bus and was looking for any momentum I could. So I did play it for the 2 and ended up going OB and paying the price.
Well, we got some good birdies from our card here, and this did play as one of the easier holes. 0.4 under par. Moving on to one of the tougher holes on the course, hole 16. This is a par 3, 378 feet. You can see the OB to the left and the right, kind of, and this plays as a peninsula. So tough to get it into the circle. Plays uphill. The land slopes from right to left.
Yep, this hole is a straight up round killer. I mean, any time you have players shooting hot, this hole is on their mind, is one they just got to get through. Yeah. Very incentivized to play for a 3 on this hole as Andres does it, and we'll see how Nick decides to attack it.
He knows it's left. Yeah. If you're going to throw that hyzer, it seems like you gotta either throw over those trees on the right or really have something flip up quick.
Yeah, that's the difficulty. I mean, players, if they could just throw a hyzer out to the right side, but if you miss right, you end up only being about 50 feet off the tee pad throwing 3. And that is a tough thing to risk. So you either really got to have the elite power to push it up or kind of go for that flip up play like Nick does, which is a lot safer. You know, he makes the mistake of going OB left. He'll still have a par putt as Shane is going to go OB right. And that's where it gets tricky because we'll have a full shot from here.
Yeah, and that's the risk. I don't know about you. I mean, I don't really have the arm, but I didn't see any reason for me to go for it. And only one person on my card did, but this seems to be like the better play.
For sure. You know, like I mentioned, it does a lot come down to how you're feeling. I mean, Andres with a lead here, very easy decision to go chip.
Yeah. Got to get down. Oh, man, that just checks up before the OB. Nick kind of giving one back there.
Oh, no. Andres playing for the par, going to card the bogey after just missing up the simple things. Like I talked about, round crusher.
Yeah.
This hole is it's just brutal.
And as you can see, this was the hardest hole on the course, playing 0.71 over par. There was 3 birdies: Dylan Seppala, Edwin Bedell, and Marky Chap.
We saw Dylan also pick up the bonus birdie on hole 14, so maybe putting together a special round.
Absolutely. This is hole 17. This is a par 4, 677 feet. OB short, OB left, OB right. And if you do not land in bounds, you go to the short pad as a drop zone. And you could also see the rocks there as well. And I believe it goes 300, 400, 500, 600, which is a really cool feature.
We see some Chace card putts here. Is a really cool feature on this hole. After you see someone putt, you're so far up that there's probably like a half-second delay from the chains ringing. So
that's cool.
This hole is a really fun one to watch our players crush on.
Absolutely. And I think Justin's going to do the normal play, which is kind of hang something out to the right and let it hyzer back in. There's a lot of room there. So as long as you get it over the trees, you're most likely going to land in bounds. But I know people go for this.
But the OB here is definitely forgiving, but it is tight enough to where a player that is going for a max crush on this hole could easily hit the wrong angle and find OB.
Yeah. You have to imagine Nick is full send here.
Halo Destroyer, low line. That's kind of been his miss today, is low. He's not really getting the height and the turn required, but since it was so low, he did stay in bounds.
Shane playing it safe, just a hyzer on the right side, giving himself an open up shot into the pin. Oh, maybe he did go OB.
So this found it. Could be a provisional. I'll have to see. Yeah, provisional. 480.
Yeah, I mean, this is a brutal drop zone.
That was a good run. A solid run. I mean, I hope I'm not OB, but that was fun.
Yeah, Nick just going hyzer into the chips from 480. That's something a lot of players wish they had.
Yeah. That looks fine. And really all they're dealing with is wind out here. Everyone has a stock hyzer to get this into the basket. Well done by Shane.
Andres leaked his last zone up shot. Cost him a stroke. This one much better, but a little bit of a roll. This basket is quite windy. I see a lot of missed putts on this basket, honestly. And yeah, it looks like he was in bounds, playing it from there as well. Gonna save him a stroke.
Awesome. Very nice to settle in there. Shane has had a couple putting woes on this back nine, but able to bury that one.
I'm just seeing now that disc under the basket must be Nick's provisional.
Yeah.
So not only did he throw a great shot, but he put it to 2 feet.
The best unused shot in a tournament he'll ever throw. Andres completes the star frame, which is what we would expect from our lead card. This is eagleable, but there were none on the day. I know you had a putt for eagle. I watched your drive. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I landed right about 38 feet. And, yeah, I just couldn't connect from circle 2.
Nice to have the chance, though. And here's another one that is also eagleable. This is hole 18. This is a par 4, pretty far downhill, 650 feet. OB on the left, OB on the right in the orchard, which comes into play. You can kind of see it circle around the basket. And really cool green up on a tractor. So the normal play is definitely just throwing a straight to hyzer shot out here to have a easier approach.
Yeah, this is what I really appreciate about this course. You can get as aggressive as you want, but down the stretch, you can just go lay up on 14, like 15, 17, 18, very conservative, and end up with a fantastic finish doing all you need to do just by playing safe. So there's certainly a reward to going big, but you can easily do the same thing by playing safe and playing smart.
Nick is going big. Yeah, and that's all the way down the hill. That's a little jumper to the basket.
And some good restraint from Nick as well. I mean, you obviously know he can put something high and flex something there and maybe get there, but choosing to go overstable, finish left, no chance of OB, and looks to be playing for the easiest three he can. And that's kind of one thing about playing conservative when you throw as far as he does. Sometimes playing conservative for him isn't just powering down, but if you could just stable up and just make sure that no matter how hard I throw it, I'm still finishing left, that's a conservative play for him and is rewarded with a easy upshot.
It didn't work though. I still wasn't amped. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's a nice hyzer if you throw it while you're amped.
Players enjoying one last walk down at beautiful Meadowbrook Orchards. Hopefully Shane's last full shot here, if he can stick it close.
The leak's a little left.
Yeah, that's what's tricky about kind of going backhand there in the hyzer. Certainly plays better for this forehand approach down the slope, checking into the wood chips. What a great round from Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Showed up, first A-tier lead card, has to be, and put together a solid round.
Whoa, what happened here? That might have leaked OB.
I think it did leak OB. This green kind of squared off. This is for a par, and sticks
Wow.
it.
Wow.
With the celebration, elevate on the tractor. You can see those flags in the back. It looked like a straight headwind putt.
I think it was. And I mean, I know you want the 3 on this hole, but my gosh, what a way to end your round. Just sticking a putt like that.
And you can see, even as he got to the basket, it was still dropping down from the chains. Fun way to finish a round. And, I mean, more than just fun, that should give him the lead going into Sunday.
Yeah, and there were no 2s on this hole, but again, Harry, I know you drove past the hole and just leaked OB. I do have to give you a shout out for that. It was an amazing drive.
Yeah, definitely one I wish could have hit the brakes a little bit quicker, but yeah, this tournament really isn't about me anymore. It's about these 4 guys that will end up on our lead card for tomorrow. As we see some solid rounds out here in the wind. Andres shooting the hot round once again on our card, 8 under par. Not to be Justin, 7 down right there, 14 just 2 back of the lead, and it should be a very exciting finishing round at Coggshall Park. You see now our scorecard, and a big little star down there at T9, Marky Chap. After a 2-over round 1 on our feature hard, Meadowbrook Marky shows up 12 down, 10.55. Heck of a round there with a bogey.
Yeah, fantastic. This is his home course, and he really showed us how to play it. But we will be having Ruben Hagen join us on the lead card for the 3rd round.
Ruben, another local player, probably his first A-tier lead card as well. Chase card will look to shoot, though. We have Nick back on it, although with a pair of Dylans and a commentator in the wild, Dan Brooks-Wells, bogey-free, 8 under par. Great round from you.
Appreciate it. But Andres going into the final round with a 2-stroke lead should be an exciting one.
All right, we will see you guys for round number 3. Exciting finish at Coggshall Park. Take it easy.